Hello everybody, and welcome back. My name is Jordan, also known as JMonster, and today we're going to be playing a little bit of the Silmarillion Total War test patch. There's some fairly expansive changes that have gone on so far. We are just getting ready to put Valinor on to the build. Hopefully, if everything goes completely well by the end of the weekend or next week early on, I will have Valinor to show off to you. After that, coming down to the 19th of July, I'm going to be away on vacation. I'll be leaving for 3 days. I come back for 2 to make sure that everything is in line for the test build, and then I leave again for 2.5 weeks. So this might be the last stream that we're able to do for quite some time. However, I will be making everything available to your favorite YouTubers, Scouts of Entertainment, you Mad Commander, a couple of other people, hopefully. Maybe Pixelated Apollo if I can catch his attention. So you won't be lacking for any Silmarillion Total War content in my absence. But that being said, let's go ahead and host the lobby. We're going to wait for our testers, and in the meantime I can always take questions, which honestly is the best part of stream when people are showing interest in what we're doing. So yeah, bring your development related questions. Campaign, I can always answer. We'll be playing multiplayer only today because the campaign is quite a ways from being ready to go and ready to be tested. I will state very clearly that it is a goal for us to get a basic version of our campaign into the next patch, which will probably take us around a year or so, all things considered, as it is a very Herculean undertaking, to say the least. And of course we'll be balancing at least 2 new factions, those being Valinor, which you'll see first, and the Naugrim, or the Dwarves, will be coming a second. If we are lucky, we will be able to get a basic roster for Nandan Gortheb into a multiplayer at the very least, so that would be really fun to get to do as well, because they are a fairly unique faction in terms of mechanics and in terms of role on the battlefield, at least as far as the Orcish factions are concerned. And so, why don't we do something kooky crazy? I'm thinking, depending on the amount of people we can get, Squad Resolution FFA might be fun. We're going to do it on a weird-ass map. And that is going to be Ruins of Brithambar, which are some of our Halloween seasonal maps, which are available as part of the base game now. So that's kind of cool. Let's see here. Let's do a 15-minute time limit so things are nice and quick. We're going to make things sunset because sunset is quite pretty in Medieval 2. The lighting has held up reasonably well. So we're going to go ahead, get this started. I don't know what I'm going to play yet. I'm open to suggestions, but we will also pay attention to what our opponents are going to be playing, and choose our builds and our factions as a consequence. But in the meantime, by all means, open the floodgates. If you guys have questions regarding the new factions in particular, Valinor, I've been spending a lot of time with and thinking about, in addition to trying to get everything ready for consumption, basically. So I can definitely answer some questions regarding them. I designed them top to bottom, so anything you want to know, I probably have an answer to it. Thank you, Jan. I really appreciate that. It's a much-needed holiday. I technically have classes, so I'll be missing 2.5 weeks of classes, so I'm kind of scrambling in addition to development in order to get myself ahead of the curve. So like trying to do my homework ahead of time and like 2-3 weeks ahead of time, so it's a little bit of a challenge. But hopefully I get it all done and I don't have to worry too much about deadlines and things like that while I'm on vacation. Show me the way meme of elephants. Sure, we can try playing some Bang Band, but we'll see what kind of games we get here too. Let's see if I can pull in a few of our testers in the meanwhile. Philothra Midoriath. Okay, why not? Will we get new campaign and battle music? Yes. Okay, so I actually haven't talked about that. We had a musician. He's like a digital musician. I don't know what's the technical term. But he creates music, and he has offered to help us out. So he's actually done some work already, and actually it might not be a bad idea to show that off on the channel. I'll confer with him, make sure he's satisfied with it and ready for it to be displayed, but we do actually have someone who will be making custom campaign music for us. So that's one of the things that you'll probably notice right away when you boot up the new patch, is that there's going to be some new music. Specifically, I think the first thing he did was for our menu screen. I know we have medieval music and Third Age music. Yep, so you will be getting themes for Angband, you'll be getting themes for the Noldor, all kinds of stuff. It really just depends on how much he's able to get done, basically. That will determine, you know, who exactly gets what immediately. But yeah, we do have somebody who's gonna be working on that. Composer, thank you. I swear English is my first language. Yeah, so we have a composer who'll be making music for us. Really exciting, and so far what I've seen, I actually really like. I think I stole one of them and I made it the ringtone on my phone. So that's how much I enjoy the work that he's done so far. Philothrim and Doriath, yeah, we can do that. Looks like Kambal's gonna play with us, but he's already snagged Doriath. So if you like, we'll play as the Philothrim. Been doing a lot of that lately. Maybe I'll play as Gondolin in one of the extra matches. I only have a little bit of time today, since I do have the gym and such. But yeah, we'll probably get in a good, I would say, an hour and a half, 2 hours of streaming. So yeah, we should have time for more than one game. So I will mercifully get to play something that's not the Philothrim for once, because I think that my last 3-4 games have been as the Philothrim. All right. Well, let's kit him out with the necessary funds. 14,500. Maybe something that's subject to change. I was thinking about maybe going up to 1,500, but I will consult with our testers, because I feel like some people will pillory me if I were to make that decision unilaterally, or even for suggesting that we increase the funds just a little bit more. But 14,500 is pretty good. Gives us a lot of options. The Philothrim are okay. I think we're going to have one other player coming, so we will have at least a 3-person FFA, which is always fun. Let's see here. Yeah, I should have potentially 2 more testers coming, so we might get a nice little 1v1, v1, v1. But in the meanwhile, let's talk a little bit about Valinor and kind of what we've got done so far. Currently, I think the entirety of the Teleri tier is done, so that's like 5 units. All the Noldor finished. I just put the last finishing touches on them shortly before the stream began. So we've got melee cavalry, heavy infantry, sword and board, and then we've got some shock infantry as well for the Narfin Noldor for the Valinor faction. And those are all done. We're just waiting on cards for them. And then all of the Vanyar, with the exception of the Kinsmen of Ingwe, the bodyguard tier Vanyar, are finished as well. And they should be done by the 15th, I think, or before the 19th. So before I leave, there will definitely be a stream to show off everything that we've gotten done with Valinor so far. Other than that, I think the only thing that we're waiting for is one of the bodyguards, one of the Maiar bodyguards, which is being made by Castellan of Angmar, if you're unfamiliar with him. Extremely talented modeler and texture artist, so that is going to be fantabulous. He's also working on a Gondolin Legendary Company, and Steward of Dale has provided me with a number of reskins for the Philothrim, which we're playing right now. So all of their basic Brithambar units, some of them will be getting new names, but their stats won't be changing, but visually and possibly name-wise, for some of them, they will be changing and getting a little bit more unique and a little bit better suited to their role. So the Foresters, for example, will have like hoods and, you know, they'll retain the light armor, but they'll look a little bit more sneaky, a little bit more Forester-like, so that's kind of cool. Play a lot of Third Age mods, but I've noticed a lot use the same portraits. Will we get new ones, and will each faction have different ones? Yes, so we've already gone over some of the portraits, and I believe Finn, who is our campaign lead, he has already provided me with a whole bunch of potential examples. So you will be getting new ones, new-ish ones. I believe they're drawn from existing artwork, but they're not going to be the photos from production in the movies, for example, that you see in a lot of Third Age mods. Nice. We've got... Oh, I thought we had a fourth person. But yes, so you will have some custom portraits, things that have been retooled. A lot of them look like the covers of... Like, I've seen the artwork around, and these sort of remind me of, like, that picturesque face from, like, Harlequin romance novels. But they do look really cool, and Finn, I believe it was Finn, has done a good job on them from what I've seen so far. So that's pretty exciting. So yes, the answer to your question briefly is yes. Can we get reskins for the Flothrope? Yes, I think I just covered that. Will we add Horde factions other than Valinor? I don't think we have any Horde factions planned currently. The only time you'll be able to play Valinor outside of multiplayer, they will be available in multiplayer, and that's what I will be showing off, so no campaign stuff for Valinor just yet. But there will be a dedicated campaign that you can play Valinor in. That would be the War of Wrath campaign. And that's more of a World War I-esque battle of attrition against Angband and Tol and Gaurhoth. And you'll also be able to draw upon some of the elven survivors from other factions. So Valinor will be the dominant sort of force for the good team, finger quotes, good team. And you'll be able to use units from, say, Narfin or the Philothrim, for example, to supplement your basic Valinor troops, which... how exactly that's going to work out, I think what I'm edging towards is more of like there being a general paucity of Valinor troops outside of what you start with, so it's harder to replenish them. And then throughout the campaign, as casualties mount, you're going to be supplementing them with more and more elves and more Edain and whatever, that complement the sort of slower rate of production of your Valinor units. Whether or not that's going to be the case for every single Valinor unit or just the really heavy, hard-hitting ones, and then the Teleri will be sort of more or less normal, is something that we've yet to determine. So, will there be Eagles, Ents, and Bjornings in Silmarillion Total War? There's already Ents. Assyrian has Ents. Eagles, as they are implemented right now, we'll see if the EOP, the Engine Overhaul Project, can come up with anything more... an implementation more satisfying, let's say, for units like Eagles or flying units generally. But for the time being, it is not really planned that we have Eagles because they're kind of janky and kind of gimmicky. And yes, we could include them for the sake of including them. But I don't know, I guess I take a little bit more pride in what we present in Silmarillion Total War. So I don't want to present something that I don't feel mechanically is all there and is kind of janky and kind of buggy. So that's why I don't have any plans for Eagles. Bjornings, as in like the transformational units, entirely possible. But that we have like transformational-esque units, but the Bjornings don't exactly exist in the first age, so there really wouldn't be any reason to put them in. But if the transformational units, which I personally think is a really cool breakthrough, can be done well and done in a way that doesn't look ridiculous, then that's something that I would potentially play with for some campaign-only units, but you may not see some things like that in multiplayer. Let's see. Massive earthworms and dragons. No, definitely not plans. We do have some dragons, and Glaurung in particular will be getting his own sub-faction. Currently, I'm in school for game design, so one of my final projects that I sort of decided that I wanted to work on before I even entered into the program was that I wanted to create Glaurung from scratch. So I want to create the model, I want to rig him, animate him, and do all of that stuff pretty well from scratch. Although I think I might actually be getting some help from Castellan with the model creation aspect of that. But the rigging and the animating, etc., that's what I intend to do for a sort of final project, and I want to put that into the mod. So Glaurung will be a thing. It's just a matter of how long will it take me to do that. I have to learn the necessary technical skills. Are there any Dwarven factions in Silmarillion? Not currently, but there is one planned for the upcoming patch. The first faction we're going to show off that is going to be new, which will appear alongside the Naugrim, is Valinor, so you'll see them first. And then I think for the Dwarves, I've got the elites are all done. We've got all the mid-tiers done, and then there's still some work to be done in some of the special units. So the Dwarves are well on their way. I'd say about half their roster is probably finished. But yeah, we still have lots of work to do on them. Are there any orcs in Silmarillion whose life does matter? Ugh, no comment. That's a vaguely political statement. I would say that when it comes to the new Nandun Gortheb faction, the orcs are kind of just there to die. So definitely not for them. Definitely not for them. But yeah, no comment. That's all I'm saying. Will there be petty dwarf factions who killed Thingol? No petty dwarf factions as such. It's possible that you'll see petty dwarves on the campaign as like maybe a mercenary recruitable unit or something along that line. But no plans currently because there weren't really enough of them to be their own faction, right? I think it's quite explicitly stated in the book that there's like, you know, literally a handful of them left and they all end up dying. Pretty much a huge sausage with legs. Yeah, he will be. I'm going for a cross between like a monitor lizard and a triceratops. That's the idea I have in my head. I should give Tundra money instead of running my gums. He's good. Let's see if we can pull in one other person I would like to do. Okay. I think we might have one other person who's going to come in. He's just popping in the patch files, and they're quite small. Quite easy to get installed. So he shouldn't be too much longer. Let's see here. Why don't I take this opportunity to... what's the best orc unit in Silmarillion? Probably the Halberdiers from Angband, I would say. They're pretty good. They're like a staple. Like on their own, they're not very good, but when you combine them with other things, they're pretty strong. I'd say that they're like a staple of the Angband faction, for sure. Yeah, so I realized that nobody asked, but while we're waiting here, I'm going to talk a little bit about Nandun Gortheb, because they're a fairly unique faction, and one that I'm really excited to present, but which is currently quite a long ways out. So the basic idea behind them is that in Silmarillion, and at least in any other mod that I've played, there is absolutely zero orcish factions that excel at ranged warfare, to the extent that, say, Assyriand does. So if you want to use a very cheap, dirty analogy, think of them as a mix between Assyriand and Angband, in that they will rely on some fairly unique monsters, giant spiders being one of them. There will be several different variations of spiders, but there will also be some weird-ass abomination-esque things. So there will be some spiders that are roughly the equivalent of, say, a StarCraft 2 Baneling, in that they can pop out of nowhere, and they're a little slow, but once they get to you, they self-detonate and kill everyone around them, which is kind of cool. But they have plenty of vulnerabilities. They're slower, they don't have a ton of armor. You can pick them apart from range with just about anything. So, yeah, they'll rely on the element of surprise and their ability to hide anywhere to get anything done. One of the other ones that I'm really excited about is it's a fire abomination that I found and created a name for in Valarin, because many of the abominations will be named in Valarin because of reasons that I don't need to get into right now. So yeah, they will function both as sort of a hybrid of a troll, but also a mobile artillery piece. Think Cygors, but a little bit more on fire. Yeah, so that's one of the other cool things that they'll have. They'll have a giant spider queen that's not Ungoliant, but you can pretend that it's Ungoliant if you really want to. Different kinds of spiders. They'll have some spider riders and a whole bunch of savage orc units, all of which are light infantry that support those monsters and make sure that they don't get isolated and destroyed. So Nandun Gortheb, coming soon to a Silmarillion near you, soon TM, whenever we can really get around to it. Let's see here. Let me check on the status of my next guy here. He says 5 minutes, and he will make it. Well, he's got 2 minutes left on that promise, so we're going to give him that time. Let me just make sure he's good. So yeah, Nandun Gortheb. Really going to be an interesting faction. I'm pretty excited to put them into play. And they serve a fairly interesting role. Not just, they'll be available in multiplayer. It's not something you'll be able to play in Grand Campaign or any sort of campaign. But their purpose in being in the game, besides being a cool multiplayer addition, is that they provide a little bit of early game challenge to Doriath. So Doriath has a lot of ways in which they can be troublesome for Nandon Gortheb, but inversely? Yes. Inversely, Nandon Gortheb has a lot of nasty things for Doriath, especially in the early game when they don't have access to a lot of their high-tier units. So they'll be there to make sure that Doriath isn't just bored, sitting in a protected pool, surrounded by allies and other elven factions on all sides. So they're going to be there to help with that. Other factions like the Brood of Glaurung are existing for a similar purpose, in that they won't be available in multiplayer, and they won't be available for single-player play, but they will exist to cause problems for player characters. Narfin, the House of Narfin campaign in particular, will be very interesting because they will have to, at various points, deal with Tolin Gaurhoth trying to take over Tolsirion. That will happen early game. And then they'll have to deal a little bit later on with the Brood of Glaurung trying to sack Nargothrond and other seminal moments from the Silmarillion novel plotline. So yeah, there's all of that going on. We will have potentially an Avari faction to inhabit Taur im Duinath or something like that. It's like the Shadow Forest that's sort of south of Assyrian, southeast-ish of Doriath. And that would otherwise just be like sort of an open, dead area. So we're thinking about maybe adding an Avarin sort of neutral elven faction in there, just so that it's populated by more than just boring rebels. And then that's something that the Haladin in particular may have to deal with. There will certainly be tensions between the Haladin, who cut down trees to build their homes in the forest, and the nearby Osiriand elves. And then of course Osiriand will be surrounded by both the Haladin and the Nalgarim. So what we're doing is putting a lot of effort into making sure that there's this patchwork, and there's various challenges for various people, and there's nobody who's just sort of the high elves, I guess, in DAC. I don't know if they've changed this recently, but previously you just were shunted to the western edge of the map, and there was nobody around you who was really a danger. That's something that we want to avoid in Silmarillion Total War, so that everybody has different challenges and everybody's engaged and not just bored the whole time, because that's no fun. Let me check on Carmendai. He's going to be here in just a few more minutes. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with campaign in terms of like keeping the challenge interesting and regular. We do also have some interesting systems to represent logistics. Training centers, for example, will be something that you want to hold on to. You can't just turn every single city into a massive recruitment hub for you. You will have to actually specialize. We're looking at how we can implement tech trees, sort of in the vein of you can build limited military buildings in one area and then build a whole bunch of economic stuff here, or you can do the inverse and build a lot of military buildings, and then you're therefore limited by the economic buildings that you can therefore build. Let's see. What was one of the other things? Right. So Silmarils, obviously we want them to play a part in the Silmarillion. Shocking. Having the Silmarils as an ancillary, the current plan is to have them as ancillaries that are owned by Angband generals, which you can then wrest from them by defeating the generals and taking their settlements. Once you've done that, we're looking into the viability of this, and from what I understand that this is actually quite possible, the more of these Silmarils that you acquire, the more your relationship with the Sons of Feanor deteriorates. So by the time you're defeating Morgoth at the gates of Thangorodrim and retaking the third Silmaril for Elvendom, you are then going to have to deal with a secondary antagonist when playing as the Elven factions, in any case, in the form of the Sons of Feanor. So the stronger you get, the stronger they get, and the weaker Morgoth gets, the more that they hate you and they want to take the Silmarils back from you. So that way, by the time you defeat Angband and you're thinking, yes, I'm big and strong, there's not that snowball effect that sort of makes you bored and then you just quit the campaign. You will have a secondary antagonist to contend with. Likewise, for the Orcish factions, Tolkien, Gaurhoth, Angband, and so forth, we have something else planned in that there will be a War of Wrath event. So Valinor will show up, you will have to defeat Valinor. In addition to that, everyone else around you is going to have a slight aversion to you. So they're not going to like you, they're not going to trust you, so you're really just going to have to like carve your way through basically all of Beleriand when playing as the evil factions, and you will only have limited allies that are fairly spread out. So you have Nanda Gortheb, who's surrounded by elven factions. You've got the Brood of Glaurung, who are surrounded by elven factions. Tolan Gaudhoth is like on a frontier with, you guessed it, a bunch of elven factions. And Angband, really just goes without saying. So challenging for them. And then you will have a sort of end boss that gives you something to look forward to and something to work towards. So that's kind of cool. Other things that we're doing to... Oh, good, Karmadai's here. Okay, let me just give him the necessary funds. We can get this underway. And we'll see what he plays as. I think we're going to have to fight him. Actually, I'm not sure how it works in FFA. But yeah, so that and the limited recruitment and the reliance on AOR units, which takes some time to replenish, will mean that you'll fight less battles, so you don't get that sort of battle spam on Wii, but the battles that you do fight will be more important, and as you continue throughout the campaign and get stronger and stronger, there are some sort of fail-safes in check in the form of garrison scripts, for example, or Valinor if you're the orcs, or Sons of Feanor if you are the elves, that sort of just keep you on your toes throughout the campaign. So that's pretty exciting. The amount of work that has been done by modders is mind-blowing. Thank you, Jordan, and thanks to all the modders for creating these beauties. Yeah, the team really appreciates it. We all work like super hard, give up a lot of our spare time in order to kind of make this happen, and we do it because we love it. So yeah, I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Okay, I think we're good to go. Everyone else looks like they're ready. So it's, as usual, it's me who's last because I don't shut up. Sure. We're just kind of winging this. It's an FFA. Last time I didn't bring cavalry, I regretted it, so we're gonna do that. A couple of them. Harassment javelins are always a nice thing to have. 875 remaining. There we go. Perfect. Nicely well rounded. Don't have my pole arms. That's okay. Let's see what happens. Oh, how nice. It's not me who's last again. Have I played Warframe? No, but I've been told to play Warframe. I'm just not as into MMO games as I used to be when I was, say, like 16 and super hooked on World of Warcraft. I just don't have the time. Oh, hi, Colin. How's it going? I just don't have the time to invest in those sorts of games anymore. Hey, Nikos. How's it going, man? I wish I did. Until recently, until I started like streaming a whole bunch of different games and whatever, I didn't really play a whole lot of video games outside of Silmarillion, so I'm trying to change that a little bit. But it really does speak to the very limited amount of free time that I have nowadays. Hopefully we don't crash. Oh, I shouldn't even say the C word, should I? Oh, we're almost there. Yeah, we're good. Beautiful. So this map is actually really cool. It was created for our Halloween events, and I unfortunately never got to show off the big event, the zombie apocalypse thing that we had planned for it, because it crashed and there's technical issues, and then it just sapped our collective will to live. So we gave up on it. Not proud of that, but, you know, sometimes. Kamu, come on, buddy boy. You can do it. Anyway, we'll see what happens. We'll let that sort of play out as it needs to. Am I part of Izzy's Discord? I don't know. I know that Izzy is a YouTuber, and I'm familiar with his channel. I just don't think I'm necessarily part of his Discord. I'm on a lot of Discords, and I think I did a purge recently of ones that I haven't really paid a lot of attention to. But if Izzy wants to, like, I don't know, talk about Silmarillion things or get into the mod and wants to show it off, yeah, I'm absolutely down to join the Discord and have a chat with him about that. Okay, well. we're just gonna play our game, and Camul can fix his shit. I don't actively know which army he was, however. I think that I can deploy up here, so I kind of want to do that, if I can. Yeah. I'll pop them into here, and then I'll do a little swoop, a little flyover of the map. It shows off a lot of our cool Halloween assets, things that are available to you when you download the mod. They're also available separately if you want to add them to your own projects. Well, can't deploy outside. Oh, that's not. I'm not that blue. Okay, whatever. It's kind of a nightmare to deploy in here, but honestly, that's why I picked it, because I wanted something that would be like silly and chaotic. Better with 4 people, but you know, it is what it is. Well, I'm gonna deploy some of our forces down in here. We'll send some of our spears in there as well. These lads can be deployed down here, just in the event that we have to repulse cavalry. You can go here. I'll keep these guys up here. There we go. And then perhaps, did I deploy all of them down there? I'll keep a couple of Marines up here. I think that'll be useful for fending off any incursions into that area. So you're here, and you can come over this way. You can be 2, 3. You guys are just hanging out down here. What do we got up here? Got seafarers. We got a decent amount of reserves, so why don't we send one of these lads down here? And have them up here, you know, just in case. For a rainy day, as it were. Okay. Good to go. I was gone on a paid internship? Huh, I wish. Okay, where's Kamul? That's Tundra. That's Carmandai. Kamul is over there. Okay, cool. Okay, so I need to get my boogie moving. Let me get out here. Oh man, they're gonna get in here, and I'm not gonna be able to do anything about it. Yeah, we're playing on squared resolution, so whoever gets the most quality kills, which is looking like that might be the Easterlings, because they're super good in a blob fight, and Gondolin is quite expensive. And they're gonna get a nice little partial surround off here. Where's my cavalry? I might be able to get over here at least with my cav in order to influence things. It's not gonna do too much to this heavy infantry from the front, but it will knock a lot of them over, which does, funny enough, give the throwing axes better angles, because they get up, they turn around, they make fools of themselves, they dance around on the floor. Yeah. So really, what do we want to do here? Easterlings have gone super numbers heavy. Maybe I want to... I guess it makes the most sense to go for Gondolin. just don't think I'm going to get a clean charge of them. Yeah, see, here they are. Let's set ourselves up for some fun stuff. Fly! Fly, you fools! Yeah, they're defending themselves quite nicely. They're gonna go around here. Okay, okay, fun. Good fun. I almost don't want to intervene at all. I want to see what happens. I could do that. I think I'm gonna lose regardless of what I do, but that's fine. Good thing I brought a lot of light infantry. They're quick and they have good stamina. Okay, he's got spears and all that stuff on his back lines here. Maybe. Okay, fine. Whatever. We'll go after these Sterlings. And you guys can come from behind over here. Everyone else, we could go pick on Doriath. That's just evil, though. Poor Kamul. Okay, they're ready and assembled, so we need to get out here. That's a very unfortunate formation. Let's try that again. I want to get in there, kill me some spearmen, but I need to be careful about that because it's a very obviously telegraphed attack, and those spearmen will turn around and slaughter my ass. Around Cure Limb. Yeah, put them in the next wave. How are we doing over here? Slow. Too slow. What's this? What do we got? Things that our bows can prey upon, so that's good. So I'll spearmen up there. Okay, it is. We should be able to get behind them. And pelt them with some javelins and stuff. Yeah, I really need to get in there, but I'm sort of resigned to my fate. Let's see. Ah, who's shooting me? Probably Doriath. Yeah, it's definitely Doriath, son of a bitch. Those Rotani nomads. Okay, what I want to do is bait out a charge, so we don't necessarily want to commit to that. There we go. Gobble them up real nice.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Ow. Oh, it's painful. It's gonna hurt though. Oh, where are my bowmen? Let's move them a bit forward to the, a bit closer to the front. There we go. Help us gobble up a good number of them.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Oh no! Say it isn't so. I'll be so sad if Gondolin drops. Please no. I think he was having trouble with his internet earlier though. Oh, wait. He says he crashed. Well, that sucks for him. He is now... This is now 1v1. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not disappointed.
We've captured the enemy's general. That'll teach their cowardly dog to turn tail and run.
There we go. Smash them up real good. See if we can route those despoilers. Oh, my cavalry just got crushed. Oh well, shit happens. Let's get in there and kill them. How are you guys doing? Okay. Slay me this rabble, my boys. Well, we're scattering the Easterlings. I really don't think anyone wins in this game when like 2 of your 4 players have dropped, and it's scored res, and the only person still around is breaking. Yeah. Can you really say that you've won? Well, I showed those light spearmen by using my extremely valuable heavy javelins on them. Oh, they're gonna fight forever, because that's what they do. What are you doing down here? Oh, I guess I forgot about you entirely, huh? Sure. Those maces. Yeah, it's gonna hurt them. I'm not gonna appreciate that very
Our
much.
men have slain the enemy general.
I'll kill you.
Without him, his troops will lose their will to fight.
I think they're okay. Go for that surround. What time are we at? Oh yeah, we have some time to restart and actually play a proper game. Where hopefully nobody crashes, fingers crossed. Yeah. It's unfortunate.
We await your command.
Well, these guys would turn around and throw. These salamanders would be basically done. Do it, lads. No, apparently not. Apparently we're on vacation.
The enemy army flees the field. Pursue and run them down.
Guess that just leaves Doriath. It doesn't really matter. We're gonna admit defeat and let Doriath win. After we kill scouts and such. And what's left of Gondolin. Got some chaff grindy units up here, so we may actually have to try and kill them. Just got my internship. Oh, you got an internship! Paid internship! Fantastic. Congratulations, dude. Just wrap them off, and so be it. And then we can concede and give Doriath the win. By win, I mean they lose because they did nothing. Oh, there's some shield bearers. Should probably kill them too. Are they even shooting? I don't think they are. I think they're having difficulties. There's a lot of stuff in their way. All it takes is just a couple of missiles, though. I think that being under missile fire does affect the morale. Yeah, which is why they broke basically immediately there. Okay. You'd think I would know that for certain, but I don't. Fun fact. See if we can break them immediately upon impact. I believe we can.
Behold how our cowardly
Feels like
foe
justice.
runs.
Freaking shield bearers.
It's time to
They
press
punch way
the
above their
attack.
weight class. Okay. That's basically it. We'll admit defeat.
Our general shames us all. He flees battle while his soldiers still fight.
Congrats, Doriath. You win. It was a nice army. That would have been interesting for us to deal with. I think we could have done it. I think units like this we could have sniped out with our Javies. There's definitely some hidden stuff in here too. The Tyrian Lyston are always a pain in the ass, but there's not too many good like hard targets other than our a Ronkir Limb for them to shoot at. And there's a lot of like missile units we could use to deal with the Axis. I think we could have beaten the Doriath army. Probably. Anyway, we'll exit it there. Game over. Unresolved. Who was... I was in third. Carbondie was in first. Oh, he won. Of course he did. All I got to do was clean up the remnants. Towers Fox got second. That's predictable. Yeah, that's a pretty... Well, congratulations to Carbondie. He definitely won that one. I think we should switch up the map a little bit if we want to do that, because it just pits people too close together. And then you get a winner, like, determined really early on, which isn't as fun. I want to do... I really like the scored resolution FFAs. They're just, like, dumb fun. Brethel Hamlet might be a good one for that. It's nice and open. There's lots of room to maneuver. Let's try that. Let's try Brethel Hamlet. Let's see. we have any other questions related to development, things like that? Doesn't look like. Maybe I could convince him to play Silmarillion. I honestly, if Izzy wants to play, I did see him in the chat. If Izzy wants to play Silmarillion with me, I would be more than happy to do that. There's a bit of a learning curve to it, but honestly, the best way to learn is by doing. So. I think we have at least 2 more players, so I think Stewie's going to come join us, one of our fellow developers, and Thunder's Fox will probably come as well. Maybe Carmondai. We'll see. In the meanwhile, what do you guys want to see played? I honestly don't care, especially for like scored res FFAs. Like it's like as low stakes as it gets, man. It's just a great way to unwind, have a little bit of fun. Don't got to get too competitive about it, so just pick anything and I will play it to varying degrees of success. I will tell you that the factions that I'm worst with are probably Fingolfin and Doriath. I would say that I'm not very good at them. Gondolin? Alright, we'll do Gondolin. Gondolin has had some cool additions in this patch. So I think, especially with Gallants of the White Wing being a little bit better, and Armors of the Hammer getting crazy armor. You can put them up to 16 armor. It's not cheap. They're obviously very expensive when you do this. It's like nearly 1,200. That's like bodyguard tier. But you can balance that out with your nice little mid tiers. So it's good to know the Gondolin conceptually working as intended. This map, I want to build a core for no other reason than I want to around these units. That's what we're gonna do. I'll have a couple of them, and we'll have some Slingers. The Slingers are actually really nice in this patch. Currently, they have a additional trait, which we added in recently to a number of different units, but Slingers were one of them, that allows them to ignore up to 75% of armor and shield, which, you know, doesn't necessarily count for a ton when you have 1 damage, but does make them just a little bit more deadly, especially against factions like, say, Angband, for example. Even from the front, Slingers can be pretty scary, so it does give them a little bit of extra danger, because they were in a weird space. Like, it was very easy to bring not enough Slingers that you can get any value out of them, or bring too many, and then you just can't, like, micro them all, or there's just, like, so many of them that they just don't bring the value that you need, as opposed to, you know, other things. So, I think they're in a little bit better spot now. You can bring, you know, 3, 4, 2... As long as you're bringing more than 1, I think that they're a worthwhile investment. So a lot more flexibility added with that trait, which is why I'm such a big fan of it. What do we want? We could bring artillery, but I don't really want to play the artillery game. I want to just like get in close and just, you know, fight it out. That's the most fun for me. Let's see. We'll bring a Gallant of the Wing, and we'll use them as our general's bodyguard. We've got them. And we've got, it's a pretty small army. Maybe we should ditch some of those and get some Spearmen of the Swallow. Yeah, flesh out our numbers a little bit, give us a little bit of extra functionality, what with the bows and such. Maybe we should prioritize. The Guardsmen of the Heart aren't very good without an upgrade, though. Oh, good. These are all 20 upgrades. So that's kind of nice, actually. There we go. It's good enough. We don't have any cavalry, so we can't rapidly respond to things, but we do have enough spearmen. I think we can be kind of annoying. I don't know. Maybe this is going to be a terrible army. Let's see what we're playing against. So we're not going to have to deal with any cavalry from Tundra. Carmondai only has melee cavalry, which we can deal with pretty effectively because they're medium, with all the missiles that we have. So that seems okay to me. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see what Stewie does, if he is in fact going to join us. Carbonite. Everyone, literally everyone needs this. Wow. Good job, me. Steward of Dale? Yes? Oh, Waffles is going to join us. Exciting. Well, let's give him... Why don't we lock it down? Because I don't think we're going to have enough to fill out, like, proper teams. So, lock the vacant slots for the time being. That should be good. If he's going to go Feanor, we might have to rework our build. Because we will just get butchered. It won't even be... It'll be ugly. He'll bring Lancers, and I'll have nothing to stop Lancers. So let's see what he plays. I think he's going to stick with Feanor, so we'll have to try something different. I mean, I guess. I'm not super impressed by this. We've gone really hard into a lot of specialists, but... What if we did that? Made it a little more about, like, turtling. I still think that would get us crushed against Feanor, but honestly, who cares? And if we are going to play against Feanor, scouts are a better option anyways. Whatever. Let's go for it. You can always try to avoid him, too, and pick on someone else. And he might not even go for us at all. Of course, he may be listening to the stream and be plotting, rubbing his hands together. Gonna go for me immediately, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna have to leave. Good night, Jaden, Jordan. Appreciate that, Medi. You have a good night, man. Put fountain units in. Oh, we could do that. Oh, no, we can't because the game has started. Please play Nargoth round. Sorry, people asked for Doriath first of all, so. Doriath we shall play for the time being. Okay, so Feanor is there. I don't want to fight them. I would prefer not to. So instead, build ourselves a little fort all the way here out in downtown. Have these lads hang out in the back. Put... Try and keep them a little bit safer. The guardsmen will be okay. Slingers can go out here. And they can be well shielded, protected, screened, that's the word I wanted, by our archer corps. Keep one in reserve. Did we get everybody? No, we didn't. We forgot our General's bodyguard. How could we? How could we forget the beautiful Gallants of the Wing, created by Castellan? Boom. Get them over here. Turn that off for now. Don't think we forgot anybody. We're good to go. don't have any cavalry, so we're just going to pop that down there. Because why not? Gives away our position, but I don't care. Don't worry about it, Medi. Happens all the time. People professors I've had for like 3 or 4 years running frequently call me Jason, so it's always nice. Will the generals spawn random babies, or will we have historical Tolkien characters be birthed? I'm not really sure how those mechanics work, so I don't know how to answer that question. Ideally, we would start with, you know, historical characters being birthed, but I think after that there's like a process of randomization, and I don't know if we have any control over that, or if we previously didn't have any control over it, but now we do with the engine overhaul project. So I'm sorry, I don't know how to answer that. Is 4 o'clock. Cool. I have a little bit of time left, so hopefully we can get this done nice and quick. I have about an hour or so, and then I have to do homework and be a productive adult. It's unfortunate. I complain about it, but it is what it is. Do we have any other questions? No, I think we're good. So, you asked tons, but I didn't see it all. Oh, well, we'll go up here. Will we have new trading resources? Possibly. I don't know that. That one I'm not too sure about. We actually will have something related to iron that will be important for what military buildings you can build and where. So that's the thing. And will each building require a certain trade resource to create a building? Possibly, but I don't think we've got all that worked out yet. This is a cool map for FFAs, though. I quite like this. It's very wide open. There's lots of options. You're not necessarily jammed right next to somebody. Yeah. How could I not bring Knights of the Fountain in my army? I don't know. I didn't think I'd get any use out of them. I thought that maybe they'd get focused down or something. Oh, it turns out I'm a million miles away again. Okay, well. Let's go pick on the Philothrum. Makes the most sense. We have a lot of missiles, and they don't have a lot of armor. So I think that's the way to go. It's quite the formidable defensive geometry. Up here too, eh? This is cool. It's like fort duels or something. I don't know. There's probably more of Narfin hiding in the woods. Almost guarantee it. There's probably a bunch of like scouts and other thingamajigs. Aha! See? I knew. They can't hide, unfortunately. Heavy infantry cannot hide in the woods. I don't think Tundra's Fox realized that. So, the jig is up. Where's Valinor? They're in the same problem I am. I don't know if Waffles realizes. Oh yeah, okay, he knows where we started. This is unfortunate. Hopefully we don't take too long to figure our shit out here. We gotta get them out of there, otherwise it's gonna screw with our AI on this unit the whole game. There we go. We have some nasty things up our sleeve. So, our marksman here, one of the things that is changed in the new patch is that heavy marksmen and elite marksmen generally have a little bit of extra range, so they don't get immediately engaged by other archers. And the marksmen of the Heavenly Arch already had really good range, so I pretty well outrange most of what he's got here, so I can just pew-pew at him forever and just be a horrible nuisance. Which is my favorite thing to do. Yeah, see, here we go. The ambushes begin. Lots of little areas you can hide stuff here, so when you're playing as Narfin, in particular Narfin, because they do have some stealthier units. Yeah, this is not a bad map at all. It's even better when you're playing a Syrian in team battles, though, as you can probably imagine. Like, all of these little areas here are fantastic for Assyrian horse archers and just harassment generally. Oh yeah, Valinor's going to come in like a wrecking ball here, so we need to be careful. So we'll take these lads. All of them, in fact. We're going to deploy them like so. I'm going to deploy these guys back here like that. And we'll also take this reserve unit. Over here too, just to be a nuisance. Pardon me. And then everyone else we got, yeah, some of them are pretty slow. Our heavy infantry and our heavy archers are pretty slow. To the tree, we're going to hold them back just in case. Everyone else that needs to move forward. Well, you're a little bit too far forward. Well, we could use the star advantage and go pick on some of those lancers. Nope, he sees it. Well, in that case, we're going to pick on the company of Prince Gwendor. And keep our eyes open for any nearby cavalry. Love it. Love that Shogun music. You guys actually gonna throw? There we go. Now we're fine. Hopefully they don't get shot to death. I assume that there are marksmen up here. No, they are otherwise engaged. Poor Philothrum, they're about to be the meat in the sandwich, but what can you do? Have you sit for now. Keep an eye on what's going on over here. Lots of Valinor units. Hopefully they'll be a little bit tired out. My plan. Move these guys forward here. Maybe we can take a little bit of an aggressive stance here against some of these Valinor units. Double up on our skirmishers. Maybe what I should do is leave sort of a skeleton crew there. And then we'll take the fight to Valinor. Oh, shit. Oh, you got me there. Nicely done, Tundra. Might be able to... no, it's gonna hit right. Hit right in the middle of that unit. That's okay. I'll double back. Sneaky. Stopping the animation and then... Okay, I want to get these guys back behind here. Get them to the woods where they can be useful. We're about to get pincered here, and it's going to be ugly. It's going to be very ugly. Send these guys over this way. Get some revenge on those swordsmen. Use the last of your missiles on them. Sure, why not? Keep an eye on Valinor and where and when they're going to be. Okay. Take this from the front. Managed to get them out. That's all we needed. Okay, I'll route them. So our scouts out here. Don't hurt those guys. Now they can retreat under a hail of sling bullets. It didn't cost us anything. Valinor is all over there. I don't know who to go for. Philothron, probably. One more shot. Okay, let's draw them back. these guys back. Definitely want to get those Marines. Have them attack these guys. Oh yeah, here we go. This is what I love. This is the chaos of... Ooh. We'll have them fight the warriors. Draw these guys back. And let them string themselves out a little bit. What we got here? Scouts at the tree. Doing just fine. Those are on Kirlim. Send the mariners into our guardsmen. Redeploy over here because we're going to need some more reinforcements. What are these guys doing? So far, so good. There's a big old blob over here that they can maybe shoot into. That'd be nice. There's nobles of Balar out there that I want to fight. Look at this. There we go. The hammer is in there. Hell yeah. Got them a nice little pinch. Ooh. Something going on over here. Needed. Where are my winged troops? They're here. They're doing fine. I'm gonna redeploy over here and try and repulse these Philothrim. These meddlesome fools! What are we doing here? Doing pretty well. One of the big things is that we managed to keep our armors and the hammer away from his javelins by either shutting them down or killing them or using their ammunition on other things. Want to keep a little bit of ammunition for later. Yes, some glorious routing going here. Okay, well, our hammers are being picked on, so they need support. Ugh. It's Narfin. They're here to be annoying. Focus fire those stalkers then. Redeploy our harp guardsmen. I'll make sure these guys stay gone. Uh-oh. Pincer them. Go after those defenders whilst we can. Doing okay over here. They're gone, so time to draw these guys back. least disrupt those spearmen. Managed to take a good bite out of these guys because we saw them coming. It would have sucked to get caught in the forest by them without being able to thin them out. Because they hurt. They hurt a lot. Where are these guys at? Let's attack these marksmen of Balar from behind. Oh no, we're getting shot up by an Argothron. It's not nice. Nobody ever likes to have that happen to them. Let's go get some pot shots of the company of Prince Gwendor. It's an easy target. Where's Valinor? Valinor is going to wipe the floor with us, but... we'll shoot into the rear of the Orion, and this is a nice, juicy target here of lots of tasty blood for us to extract for the Blood God. Marksmen. Okay, we're gonna move up here and we're gonna tell those marksmen what we think of them. These guys intact if I can. Oh, they're still doing just fine over here. Look at that. And these scouts, still a good amount of them left. We're gonna need you guys though. So the Spearmen of the Swallow are not having a very good time. Bring these scouts up this way. Got a nice core of my heavy marksmen left, so that's always good. Looks like the fight against Valinor is going down. Yeah, that's where we want to be. By any means necessary. Let me get over here. Expose them. Let's go for that surround. I'll let them take the impact. And then our armorers will charge in there. Hopefully get some good kills. Yeah, draw them into that fight. They should drop. Ooh, yeah, they will. Beautiful. Hell yeah. 2 fear units surrounding you? Yeah, you're gonna rout. I don't care who you are. bring everybody within the shelter of our troops here. Uh-oh. More of them. Not good. Get over there, bring these guys over this direction, bring in some of our other reinforcements. Scouts of the tree, doing great. See if we can't get one good shot off on those guys. Just need to bring everybody together now. Oh god, the Philothron are over here and they're giving me the business. Let's go for the full surround. I'm feeling reasonably confident for victory here. It's entirely possible that I don't do well at all, but I'm feeling alright. Really want to get rid of those Lancers, though. That's big. That's bad news. Bad news bears. Let's go tie down those marksmen. Let's see where the rest of that Valinor cavalry is hanging out. Not behind me, are they? It's a decent angle. Move these guys forward. Back this way. That's a better angle. Send some of our chaff over here. What time are we at? They're reforming. You are doing things you shouldn't do. Get back here. Get back here, you fools. Getting there, mixing it up with some of their heavy archers. Always nice. Nice big blob to fire into there. Oh, I'm feeling fairly confident that we can pull this one off. All that cavalry back there. That's where it's gonna get bad. Oh, some of those Marines came back. The ones we stopped chasing. I didn't think they'd be back. Oh, no. Terrible. Draw these lads back. Try to keep them out of the fight. I think Waffles is probably trying to tie down our spears. We'll rub them off quick. Some easy value for us. Cursed coming our way. Never a fun time. try and just like pile into this pocket. He's probably going to go over this way though. Go after units that we got just standing out around here. Let's try and get out and get back into the pocket if we can. Yeah, it's going to hurt. See if we can deal with the rest of these guys. Yeah, caught my scouts. Did turn these guys around. I didn't think he'd commit that heavily, but here you go. Use them or lose them, basically. Kill the Sartor. They're worth a lot. They're gonna hold for now. They don't exactly take well to morale shocks, being technically skirmishers, but they're doing okay. Nice. Yeah, combine arms there. That'll be enough to rout them off. We need to be extra careful with the spears that we do have remaining. Charge with our armor-piercing infantry. Uh-oh, you're gonna get caught. Well, tis what it is. Countercharge these mooks. Kill off a good number of them. Go for surround over here while I still have some cavalry left over. Valinor cavalry is very, 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 very good though, so it's going to be difficult for us to defend everything. Yeah, you better run. What time are we at? Better hurry up and finish this. I do have stuff to do. Better heckin' run. Can stay here as our final line of defense. Oh dear. Where'd all that cavalry go? Oh, it's hanging out over there. Get them, boys. They're doing their best. Ugh, what a grind. I think we got this, though. I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm also happy that we managed to fight everybody, so my bloodlust, in addition, is satiated. These guys cause fear, so this should be enough to defeat these guys. Shame we didn't get our charge off, but they are probably pretty tired at this point. Some breaking there, I think. Yeah. Ooh, they charged into the foresters. That's a risky proposition. We're going to start to see them die like crazy here if they don't pull out too soon. Get ourselves in here. Well, they're not going to win that, but at least they've got the horsemen surrounded, sort of, question mark. Some of them are dying off. Suited for that. What's that's doing? Let's go first round. See if we can finish this. It's gonna deny me the charge. It's nice. I don't know. actually get it. Oh, Carmen, I still got marksman left. Oh my goodness. This fight's not over, is it? I think I might have enough hammerers to kind of see me through to this, to the end of this. Oh no, we're getting shot to death by marksmen of all things. Oh, they're gonna break. I'm gonna lose my spearmen. Wait for it. It's a close one. Wonder how well Valinor did, because it seems like they killed a good chunk of Nargothrond, so it might not be as we might not be as much of a shoe-in, I suppose, as I think we are. Oh, you're fine where you are. There we are. Let's see if we can get him. If we can clip the general. We got this. He's gonna go for the marksman. Almost certainly, because they're a high value target. Of course he is. Hopefully Carmendai sees it and countercharges. Oh yeah, he will. That Valinor general. Are we boxing him? Oh, we're boxing him good. He just went down. There we go. Friggin' die already. Damn. There goes our meat shield. Try and pull through the defenders. Maybe go for the surround here. Finish them off. Yeah. Use that fear. Oh yeah, give me that charge. You can do it. It's not gonna be a good one though. Their armor is gonna see them through that though. Thank God. Ooh. This would be a very different game if the Philothrim were able to sink their Hunter Javelins into our armorers, but we managed to keep them back quite wisely. And, yeah. Spearmen in there. Have them start poking away. Oh yeah, there's the routing. The armors may even be a little bit too good, to be perfectly honest. Unfortunately, I can't run them down, so they're probably going to come back. Well, I can try to run them down. Might as well, to be perfectly honest. Whoa, what a battle. hopefully Waffles lines up for a final little showdown, because I do have to go in about 10 minutes. What the hell? Seriously, guys? Seriously? Wow. What the flip was that all about? Yeah, that was hella dumb. And it's because they're all in like a control group and it's just getting weird. Yeah, they might come back. Or they might not. Nope, they came back. Of course they did. But yeah, the hammers may even be a little bit too good, or maybe they're just good and we killed a bunch of the counters off and the Philothrum weren't able to deal with them the way they probably wanted to. I don't know. We'll see how things kind of turn out with the new traits for shield breaking and stuff like that. Oh, they're gonna go. Ugh. Awful snow, come back. I just want to be done, man. Oh, I can't blame him. I would do the same thing if I was in this position and it was a close game like this. That was a fun game, though. Like, we really used all parts of the animal, didn't we? This might be fun to actually showcase on the channel, or maybe send off to someone else so they don't put the same battle on the channel twice. Feels a little bit like double dipping. Because it is. Because it very much is. Oh. I'm never going to catch him. I should probably just go and route these guys. That's what I should do while they're separated. Instead of aimlessly charging that cavalry, I'll go and do that while he's busy. Get in there, boys. Is that gonna be enough to break them? No, we're gonna have to get like a good shock in there. It's not gonna be enough. These guys get back here though. It might be. I'm surprised they're holding out the way they are. With their general being dead and that. Yeah, try to keep it separated while he crushes us over there. Get our booty over here. Come on. Come on, fatties. Yeah, your heavy infantry, once they get exhausted like this. Oh god, they're just so slow. Let's get them into those shield bearers. Get our fear-causing units in. Make sure these guys are losing combat, and we should be okay. It's gonna turn around pretty quick, though. Yeah, there we go. Well, they would just route. Oh, how much loot do I got? Oh, I look down and don't pay attention for just 1 second. Okay, now they're routing. Let's go for the surround here, try and kill off what's left of them. Should be enough. Damn, that was real close. That was a real close game. That's like, yeah, that's showcase worthy for sure. I'll see if I can find somebody. Izzy, perhaps, if you're still out there in the audience. Maybe you want to show it off. I don't know. Hello there, Lord of Golden Flower. Yeah, maybe the armors of the hammer are a little bit overtuned. They don't seem to die to anything that's not armor piercing. I didn't use them poorly, so that played a part, but it might be that they're a little bit too strong. We have to reduce their sort of base armor value so that they're, 10 instead of 12, so they get 14 instead of 16 armor. But that would basically put them back to where they started previously, so I don't know about that. I don't know. There might be some other options there, like reducing their melee defense and things like that, so that they are a little bit more susceptible to melee damage, particularly armor-piercing melee damage. Is that it? Are we good? Are we done? Is it over? Is Tundra's Fox around somewhere? Is he gonna like pull out some emergency troops and I'm gonna die? And be sad? No? Maybe I also have to admit defeat. There we go. Game's over. Nobody wins. Really, nobody wins. Look at this. It's a fucking nightmare. It's a bloodbath everywhere that you look. Well, we'll kick it to 6, and we'll let it sit there for a minute. And I can answer some questions if you guys have any comments, questions about what you saw on screen, any more questions regarding development. I can certainly answer those for you right now in the next few minutes. Yeah, really just fire away, because once this is finished here, we're gonna wind down the stream, and that's gonna be it. Champions would have been nice in this, but I feel like the core of marksman and the core of our armor is what really won us this game. The marksmen were just so nice to have as like almost elite infantry. They're not quite as good as other elite infantry, certainly not as good as Champions of the Fountain, but having them here and having that reserve force really really paid dividends for us. We might be able to just like leave and save the replay. Whoever does it won't get an end screen, but I can always save that and send it to them. Let everything route first. Yeah, no problem. No problem, Carbon Die. Anytime you want to come play with us, it's always a pleasure, man. What else? I mean, it could have gone very, very differently, as I said a couple of times now throughout the progress of the game. If the Philothrim were able to use their hard javelins, like their hunter javelins, on our heavily armored core, because that just reduces their greatest assets down to nothing, that being their shield value and their armor value, and also ignores melee defense, so basically just like flatlines their entire defensive stat line, and then they're just gone. And if they went up in smoke, then we wouldn't have had them at the end, and we wouldn't have done very well with them at all. Finally, we get some victory. Everything has routed off. Let's go ahead and save that. Let's take a look at what did what. Wow. Yep, armorers did really nice. The Gallants of the Wing did as well as you would expect them to. Marksmen of the Heavenly Arch were the real MVPs, though. They consistently performed even better than the armorers of the Hammer. And that was a result, I think, of bringing them en masse. Scouts of the Tree did well. Guardsmen of the Harp, kind of, but that's fine. Spearmen of the Swallow were indispensable for fighting cavalry, which is really their only purpose for being there. Another thing that would have been tough for us is if those Lancers, we were able to shut them down real early with some good tactics. But if they were able to get into one of our armorer units, they would have just completely flattened them as well. Their charge is armor piercing, and it's like the highest in the game. It's like 25 or like 27 or something, and that far outstrips anything else that they have besides armor. So that would have flatlined one of our units of the armor piercing guys as well. So maybe they're okay. I don't know. I'll leave that to you guys to ruminate, and you can always give me a little bit of feedback, give me your thoughts and that sort of thing on the current state of the armorers of the Hammer. I think that they're finally in a state where they're like a reliable workhorse unit, but also quite expensive to bring. Like each one of those was 1,200. That's almost a bodyguard, and is a bodyguard in certain factions. So they are expensive, and if we had lost them to a couple of the harder counters in the game, we would have been in pretty bad shape. So yeah, I think that'll do. I'll leave the floor open for another few minutes here. Will I do a playthrough once the campaign is ready? Absolutely. You better believe I'm going to do a playthrough. I'll probably be the first playthrough of the campaign that you see. Will our generals spawn random babies, or will we have historical token characters? I think I answered that one earlier. I'm not sure. I think we'll start with historical characters, and then after that I think it's randomized, but it may be that that's something that the EOP crowd, the Engine Overhaul Project, are able to change, but I personally don't know. I'm not super knowledgeable about the campaign side of things, and mechanics and scripting and so forth. I have people on the team who are good at that sort of thing. My job is more design, multiplayer, balance, so forth. So that I don't know. Will there be a barracks event? There might not be the need for a barracks event because of what we intend to do. You asked about trade resources earlier, and one of the things that we wanted to do with, say, the iron resource, for example, is tie that to advanced military recruitment in whatever settlement happens to be in. So there will be certain places that will be important recruiting centers, and you don't want to just lose them. So not every city becomes as important as every other city. They can be important for different reasons, recruitment, economy, and so forth. Or they're just like castles and like really useful strong points, and you can garrison troops in them. But because of that, there might not be the need for a barracks event, but it really just kind of depends. Like we'll have a better sense of that once we get into campaign testing properly. Let's see, 5 o'clock. I'm a busy bee. I have to go and do homework, and then I have to get ready for the gym. So hope you guys have enjoyed this so far. Coming up next, you'll probably see a battle replay, and after that, sort of in the more long term, after I get back from vacation, I will be posting some surf videos, which is totally random. That won't be on the channel, but I will provide links through the little community tab, just because that's not really appropriate for my channel. So if you guys want to enjoy a little bit of vlogging with myself and my friends, we're going to be going up to Tofino, which is a beautiful area, and doing a little bit of surfing. So that's something that you'll see as well, if you're so inclined. And I don't blame you if you're not. After that, I will be doing, as I promised, and I did poll people on this in the community section, I will be doing a review for the Silent and the Fury. I believe that's the new DLC coming out. I have been taking some notes on what I've seen from other YouTubers so far, and I will be spending a little bit of time with that so that you guys can make a sort of informed consumer decision about whether or not that's something that you want to invest in. I will say that it looks fantastic so far, but I do have some reservations about a little bit of power creep. But we'll, of course, get into that in the video itself. So in any case, my name is Jordan, also known as JMonster. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. And no problem, do me. I have no problem answering questions. If you have any other inquiries, just hit me up in Discord.